Hello boys of standard 12th of history. Now today I am going to teach about the next topic from the chapter Harappan culture. Topic is finding out about the craft center. Once you see it in a book, finding out about craft center. So now see, you see boys, you know what happens in these days all over the world. When you take example, you see in any country, you see some cities are known for industrial sectors. They are specialized. They are known as a industrialized center, industrialized cities, industrial cities. Similarly, you know, in those days, in Harappan culture, some centers have been specialized, and they were known for the production center. Into the present context as an industrial center, manufacturing centers. So then, you know, boy, when we read about the Harappan culture, into this context, the first place that comes to our mind, that's the most important, that's a Chanhu Dado. Chanhu Dado, you know, this center has been recognized by archaeologists as a production center. And many objects were manufactured at there, like beads and different things in day-to-day life. So now, boy, which center was most important? It will be a question for carrying 1 mark. Most important site that has been recognized as a production center, we have to write Chanhu Dado. Yes, production of course carried out at many other places, but Chanhu Dado was specialized, most and well known and most prominent name as a production center. Now see, another question is that when the people of Harappan culture, when they manufacture the objects, which materials they used? It's another question, important question. You understand? You write down which materials they used. The 3 types of materials you have to mention. Of course, questions will carry 3 marks. So what are those 3 types of materials they used? First, you have to write the stone. Different types of stones such as crystal, quartz, jasper, carnelian, and lapis lazuli. These were the different forms of stone. And now, boy, second thing they used in making object, that was metal. So what type of metals they used? Copper, gold, bronze, shell. Okay, copper, gold, bronze, and shell. They used gold not at large scale, in large quantity. And apart from these 2 things, they also used in making object clay, baked clay, terracotta. Terracotta means, you know, when soil is not baked, that is called terracotta, and baked soil also. So these were the things they used in making objects. Now, for example, you have to write, because, you know, Harappan culture is famous for making beads. The beads are found in numerous shapes, and they were decorated. Usually, beads were made of 2 and more than 2 stones. Stones were cemented together, and beads had beautiful paintings, and also, you know, they are very beautiful and very specialized, because some drawings had been echoed on it, and incised. Incised means it's a technique to beautify the object. The beads were incised, and some designs echoed, and paintings. By paintings they beautified the beads. Now the other topic is that what was the technique. It's also an important, because still it's a puzzle, it's a riddle to the archaeologists how they made, and so beautifully they made. Still it's a riddle to them. So what was the technique? So you have to understand. They used statite stone, that was the soft, and they molded the object. They molded the object out of the paste, which was made of the statite, and this allowed them to give different shapes to the beads, and the remaining process was the chips. Actually, when they made the noodles were chipped into rough form. First of all, the noodles were chipped into rough form, then flaked into the final form. Then after that, what happened? The process of grinding, polishing, and polishing, such processes were followed, and many specialized grindings have been found at Charhudaro and Lothal and recently at Dholewada. So this was the process of making beads. This was the technique, and after that you have to read the next topic, that is identifying the production center. Now you have to see from the archaeologist's point of view, because before you there are remains, and you have to identify which remains represent palace, which houses of common man, houses of rich men, and places of producing materials, craft centers. For that, archaeologists look for the following things. They look copper ore, tools, unfinished objects, and waste rejects. One important question carrying one mark from this topic, that is, which was the most perfect indicator in identifying production center? That was the waste. What was the waste? When shell or stone is cut, then when it is cut, then many pieces shattered in doing that process, small pieces, and that is discarded as a waste. In this way, waste is the most important. Remain to identify a place as a production center. And next, and they brought the things from where and how they procured the things, what ways they followed. They followed three ways: land route, riverine routes, and also the seas. And how they brought the objects? Remember, boys, there are three ways. First, they brought the things through trading from different parts, and second, they established settlements. They established settlements to the areas where particular things were available at large scale. For instance, Shotru, Shotu High. It is located in far off Afghanistan, famous for lapis lazuli. They established their settlement over there to have a lapis lazuli. And when you see the Balakot and Nageshwara in the map, you see that these are near to the sea and famous for the shell. And the third way, that is through expedition. They sent expedition and established contacts with local communities. For instance, they brought gold from South India and copper from the Khetri in Rajasthan. One important thing you